everyone. I welcome you back to our course, Microsoft Packages, and I welcome you to this lecture, which is the 6th session. And I thank those ones who have been following me from the first session to this session, and I think you keep on following to the end of this course, Microsoft Packages. And today we are going to talk about how to insert tables in our document, and we are going to start with a new document. I won't take you back the other document since we are starting on another topic called tables. So we are going to first save our document, then after saving we are going to use it when it is saved. Then after, let me try saving. File, save as. Save as. Then after saving as, I choose desktop. Then I will give it a name. I will give it table, and I will save. Then after saving, now I want to start straight to inserting tables or creating tables. So inserting tables, it has 3 methods of inserting tables. First of all, you first go to insert on your menu bar. Then after selecting insert, you will see that icon of table, and you will click on the drop down for you to be able to create that table. So we have 3 methods, as I told you, of creating the table. So we are going to see the first method, which is just selecting columns and rows from the created table, which is on our icon down. So you can be able to select any columns that you want and rows, and we are going to see an example of 4 columns, 4 rows. So I will select 4 columns, then I move down to 4 rows. Then I will click, and my table will be created in my document. Now let's see the second method. And the second method, we still go to insert. Let me first undo this, and I will go to tables. Then I have this another option of inserting a table, and I will click it. After clicking, it will bring me a form which will give me specifications, and here I will be able to specify my own columns and rows by typing. So I will choose the number of columns. I want 4. Choose the number of rows. I want 4. Then after setting your own columns and rows, you can click OK. And after clicking OK, your table will be created. I have another method. Still, let me undo this, and I will take you to another method. Another method is drawing. By drawing, so clicking on draw, I'll bring my cursor to the document, and it will bring me a pencil like cursor. So I will use this pencil to draw my table. I'll be able to draw. Let me bring back my pencil, and I'll be able to draw my own tables. Let's say you want to delete some cells, and maybe you are drawing and you realize you made a mistake and you don't want some rows or columns in your table. You can use what we call the eraser tool. The eraser tool will help you to delete the unwanted lines, and you can delete the cells and the rows and the columns that you don't want by using that eraser tool. So I will just go to the eraser. I click on eraser, and I will bring it straight to the line that I want to remove in my table. So by clicking on that line, it will be erased, and you will not have that table again. So that's how we use the drawing method to create our table in our document. But I don't like you being familiar to this, because it will waste your time through drawing. So you can easily use the insert, or you can use the selection method, because drawing will will take you a lot of time and realize you're wasting time drawing the table. So a simple method is to insert, or to use the selection method. So I will use the selection method, which is the simplest, and I will draw my table. So after drawing the table, let's see how we can select rows or columns. Maybe you want to select a specific row, or a column, or the whole table. How do we select the rows, the columns, the cells, and the whole table? So selecting, we just press the left button on your mouse, and you drag to where you want to stop the selection. Or else you can use this black arrow, the black bordered arrow, which comes on your cell. The moment you point on the cell, the specific cell, you will see this black arrow, and by clicking it will select that row. Or else you can use the long pressing of the left button, and you drag until you reach where you want to finish your selection. And I can easily select my whole table by dragging the mouse. By long pressing the left button, and you drag, you will be able to select the whole table. Or else you can use that black arrow to select the whole table. After selecting the table, let's see how we can delete columns and rows. So after selecting, let's say I have selected this column. Now I want to delete it, or I want to insert a new one. But I will first take you through how we can delete columns or rows. So after selecting, you can right click, and by right clicking it will give you different options, and you are able to see the delete options. So delete columns, which means I'll be able to delete the column that I've selected. By deleting a column, that column will disappear. Or you want to delete a row. So deleting a row, maybe I can select one, and I will right click. Let me select again. Right click. After right clicking, you have this of delete cells, and you can also select it, and it will bring you other options. Do you want to shift cell left, shift cell up, delete entire row, or delete entire column? So me, I want to delete the entire row, so I will select delete entire row, and I will click OK. After clicking OK, it will delete that row for me. So that's how we delete columns and delete rows. So let's see how we can now inserting a new column, or inserting a new row, or inserting a new cell. Inserting, I'll also do the same procedures, but now I will select insert instead of delete. Select, then I will go to insert. Insert also brings me different options. Maybe I want to insert the whole the column to the left, or insert a column to the right, or insert rows above, or insert rows below, or insert cell. So let's say I want to insert my column to the left, so I will select that option, and it will add for me a column to the left. Or if you want it to be added on the right, you also select that option of insert rows to the right. So I'll be able to insert new columns and rows in my table. Let's see how we can modify rows and columns by changing their height and width. This means that we want to expand our rows and columns. Maybe you realize your rows are small, and what you want to type is big, and you want to increase on the size of the row, or you want to increase on the size of the column that you have. So we just want to know, how do we increase the size, how do we reduce the size of the rows and the columns in that table. So we are going to use this cursor, which comes by moving around your table. You will see this cursor, this, and by dragging it, it will be able to increase the size of your column. By dragging it to increase the size of your rows, it will be able to increase for me the table. So that's how we can increase the width and the height of cells, of columns, of rows. Now let's go to another thing which we call the border, cell border or table border, and we are going to see how we can create a border and give it the color and give it the style according to what you want. So these borders, we just go to we already have our table and we have already saved our document, and by selecting that specific cell that you want to give a border, or if you want to give a border to the whole table, you select the whole table that you want to give the borders. So let's say I want to give the whole table, so I will select the whole table. After selecting the whole table, I will go to my design and give it a border. Then after, we have this design option from our menu bar, and I will just go to the design options and I'll be able to design my border design. Then after designing, of course, I want border styles, so I have to click on the border styles and I will choose any style that I want. So I will go through the styles. Maybe I want this, and if you want to change its color, you go to this color option and you give it any color that you want. Then this one, you want them to be to the right, to the left, to the what, so you give it what you want. Bottom, then realize my border is there. Or by going to this option, I can select the whole table now, the whole table. I will say okay, and my border will be appearing. Let me choose another style. Maybe you want 3 lines, and I will give it a color, and I will give it the whole table, and I will say okay. So my whole table will have border. So that's how we insert borders, and that's how we style our borders. And let's see now, how can we shade the cells. Let me first undo. How do we shade the cell? Maybe you don't want to use that shell, and that cell you don't want to use it, and maybe you want to shade it. And the way we shade, we just first highlight the cell that you want to shade, or if you want to shade the whole column, highlight that column, and after highlighting, then you apply your shading. Then let me just use the one cell. I will highlight this, and I think you remember how we highlight. I told you about that. Then after highlighting, you will go to the options of saving, still under design. From the menu bar, you go to shading option. The shading option has a drop down, so just go to that drop down and choose the color that you want to use in your shading. Maybe I want blue, so I will click on blue and my cell will be shaded. So that's how we apply the shading. And maybe you want to shade another cell with another color, then you have to select that cell, then you give it another color. Maybe I want this, Then I want to give it a different color. Don't worry about my colors, you can use your own colors that you want. Then you'll be able to shade the table. Then that's how we do the shading of the cells. And for this lecture I will stop here, and I hope you will keep on moving with me. And in the next session we are going to talk about adding pictures, and keep watching.